Hello everyone, my name is Ivan and this is the new episode of my process of creating illustration for the Blizzard Ultimate Fan Art Challenge. At this episode I'm gonna talk about rendering settings and about the beginning of the process of overpainting in Photoshop. So let's talk about the render. First step, what I do. I left only needed materials in the scene. I left one material for Tychus, one material for Anubarak, one material for Tychus Minigun, and last material for environment. The majority of these materials are clean and they have their specular settings, and I use Lambert material for environments, so it has no specular settings. Second step, I create MIB occlusion and I use it as a fake to calculate ambient light in the whole scene. I apply this material to ambient color of each material that I use on my objects, and if I forgot to apply this shader to any material, then they will look as they don't interact with ambient light at all. The main setting for MIB occlusion is samples rate, and while you adjust in your render, I suggest to use 32 or 64 samples, but for final render you might use some bigger numbers. The next step is to create a light source in the scene. If we wouldn't do that, then the scene would look as if they were only ambient light, but we want to show some sunlight, so first I create a spotlight and I use it as a major light source in the scene. I place it in a distance from the scene, so every single object would fit into the area of this light source. And also we don't want to forget to activate ray trace shadows in the spotlight settings. Otherwise the objects wouldn't cast any shadows. But only one spotlight isn't enough, because we make a fake lighting, so we need some extra light source to show some reflections and bouncing light. For that I use area lights and I place them right in the places where I would like to have some reflections. If I wouldn't do that, then there will be very stiff shadows and not very much details in there. So using area lights allows me to show some details in the shadows on my models. Also I use area lights to achieve Fresnel effect on the corner of the models. And after I finished placing the light sources, I render the final image in a high resolution. And now it's time to move on to Photoshop. At the Photoshop I combine all images that I get from 3D render. It's the main image, it's the ZEP depth channel, and it's two masks that I rendered separately for Tychus and for Anubarak, so it would be easier for me to paint within their silhouettes. I use the ZEP depth channel to add some air perspective, and I adjust the depth using gradient map for that. I could use levels or curves, but it seems that gradient map have more flexibility. Also, I use depth maps to shift the foreground into shadow a little bit. The major idea that the Tychus would be in the shadow and Anubarak would be catching some sunlight, so they would be easily readable one against each other. After that, I'm making some tweaks to Anubarak pose and making some tweaks in the composition. At this point I wasn't sure about the flying bugs, so I cut them away, and I thought that the whole angle of composition should be slightly different, so I changed it. I think now it's time to answer one question that you guys sent me on my channel. The question is, it is interesting to know how you outline black and white with a color. Someone said that it is uncomfortable and it's easier to right away draw in color. And if you paint in through a blending mode color, it might give faded colors. So, major point here, don't be obsessed with color blending modes. It's not about which one are better. It's about which one do you need right now. Which blending mode I use, it's every time different, and I try to make a decision out of the situation. If I need to colorize an barak, I should use some blending mode that could add color, but the Barak itself is currently made from the single material, and if I use the blending mode color, then I couldn't change the value of details on Barak, so I need something else. That's why I'm using hard lights instead of color at this point. It allows me to not only add color but also refine some values on Barak. Speaking about drawing in color instead of coloring black and white image and looking into my process, of course, now I'm coloring almost black and white image that came from 3D, but at the end the whole process will work as if I drawing in color from the start, because there is no details at all right now. So I use 3D and these layers right now as an underpainting. When I'll get to the point where I'll be drawing some major details, there would be pretty much every color that I need in this image, and I will draw them using color right away, not coloring the black and white. And I think this is it for this episode. I hope you guys like it. I really appreciate your support. If you don't want to miss the next episode, please hit the subscribe button. And yeah, this is it. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Goodbye.